When we first start studying chess, we often learn about double queen checkmates. The reason is because if I promoted a pawn, it would become a queen. And that's why double queen checkmates happen. Now, those of you who start learning double queen checkmates usually learn the ladder method. Basically, I'm going to shrink the space that the king of my enemy can have and then finally push him enough to one of the rims and checkmate him. So for example, if it's my move, I don't directly try to go for a check. I just push him. So maybe he goes here. Watch what I do. See, it's like you're going up a ladder. Actually, that is actually a check, but it's okay. So let's say he goes here. We're gonna just, see this? Continue to push him this way. So now he goes here. And then we are gonna go here. And notice, he's gonna eventually end up on the rim here. So let's say he goes here. What do we do now? Well, we continue to keep him more and more trapped. So we're gonna go up the ladder here. So notice, he still has some places to go, right? He can go here. So this is where you gotta be careful. And that's why when you learn this, they actually recommend you having the queens touching each other, because by touching each other, the queens are actually guarding each other. So now that they're touching each other, all right, well, I guess you can go here. And what do you do now? You don't go down here. Again, you're moving up the ladder. So, and then checkmate. So run it back again. Again, don't go check immediately. Just slowly crawl up the ladder. It's okay if you check now because he can't move this way, right? We're pushing him more and more this way. So, see? And then checkmate again. So this is the ladder method. This is a surefire way. It's not the quickest way, but it's a surefire way to get them. Now again, we saw that if they aren't touching each other, right? You got to be a little careful. You don't want to hang your queen and suddenly you lost a queen, for example. Oops, I hung my queen. Right, you can still finish your checkmate with a king and a queen, but you don't want to do that and make it more difficult for yourself. This is called the ladder checkmate, sometimes called a roller. This is one pattern that's really cool. I call it the queen triangle. So they make a triangle with each other. But notice this queen is touching the king. It's being protected by the queen. And the two blind spots of the queen that's checking are threatened and guarded by the other queen. So you can turn this any other way. It's beautiful. Beautiful checkmate right here. The other diagonal's guarded. And again, the blind spots of the checking queen are being guarded by this queen. So this is, I call it an orthogonal kiss of death. You could also checkmate him with your king touching diagonally, like this. So this one's really beautiful because half the escape is being guarded by this queen, and then the other half of the escape is being guarded by the other queen. And of course, the queens are protecting each other. What I like about this one is the queen's diagonal is preventing this queen's blind spot from being taken advantage of. So an easy way to remember this is the queen's at a diagonal, and the other queen is protecting this queen and knight's distance away from the king. So, for example, this is knight's distance, but am I protecting this queen? No, so that's wrong. But here, I'm knight's distance, and I'm also protecting the queen, and this is a checkmate. Notice every single square that the king can escape to is being protected. This one especially, right? It's x-raying this diagonal. So it's a way to flip it around. Just remember, one queen has to be diagonally touching. The other queen has to be protecting this queen and knight's distance. So of course there are other mates you can do with double queens, but these were the two that I found today that were really fascinating. And another note about this one, the triangle one, orthogonal triangle, is why doesn't this work? They're technically protecting each other and they're guarding a lot of squares. Well, think about what square is not being guarded that this makes it possible. See? This blind spot. So that's why you need it here, because it guards this blind spot. So what other double queen mates do you know? Let's talk about them in the sequel to this.